Now I'm live. All right.
Yeah, so I'm on the live
All
now
right.
already.
We're getting Nick over here from Zoom over to Instagram. So there you go. Now you request to be
Whoa,
on.
look at you. I got you from every angle. All right. Oh, there we go. Send a request. Send request. So there you go. Now you request to be
We go.
on. Wait, am I live? Holy shit, this works. Oh my God, this is
All
working.
right, this is working. I'm gonna take us off. I'm gonna take us off Zoom so we're not echoing.
Man, technology is so crazy these days. Look at that. We're just in Zoom and now we're
Says
here.
the guy who knows all the tech. Okay, well, here we are. I am Summer Mulder. I'm the founder of the Draw Shop here, and we're starting to go live every Tuesday because we want to talk business, but more importantly, we want to talk about getting clear on your messaging and specifically your elevator pitch. So when somebody says, "Hey, what do you do?" you know what to say so that they are hooked and want to learn more. And today I'm bringing on my good friend, my also, well, who's helped me a ton in all things business, Nick Sonnenberg, founder of Leverage. Nick, welcome. So excited you're here with me.
Thank you for having me and showing me a new technology trick, which is this dual Instagram live. I've never tried it
This
before.
is this is the first time I've ever showed you anything, by the way.
But this is huge.
This is huge. Like my ego is so big right now. So yeah, so I wanted to, the whole purpose of doing these, and we're going to start doing them every Tuesday, is to bring on people that are my friends, bring on entrepreneurs, experts to talk about what they do so that people can get an idea of, you know, here's how I say what I do, and it's very clear. At the same time, I'm also going to be bringing on people to who are having a rough time talking about what it is that they do. And I think it's just an important thing always, forever in business, that you're clear on who you're talking to, what problems do you solve for that person, how do you solve it that's unique, and then what kind of transformation does that person have. So let's talk about you and what you do and how you make people's lives better and the problems you solve.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And I think it's such an important thing that you're doing here with this topic because most people can't explain their business that well. And I think if you can't, to a certain degree, explain your business properly, like your business probably has some underlying issues, right? And I'm kind of nervous to give an elevator to you because like honestly, our business has transformed and pivoted so many times. Like right when we kind of nail one pitch, it's like, oh, actually, we're not going to do VA work anymore. So it's constantly evolving, but it's so hard to make a good elevator pitch. So if working with companies like yours, like the Draw Shop, to help businesses craft their messaging and get really clear on how to do an elevator pitch and along with a drawing, it's just such a smart move. So I'm sure that you've had a lot of success with that so far because it's such a smart idea.
Most that we um let's see. Are you there, Nick?
Can you hear me all right?
Do we still
Yeah.
have you? Okay, there, you're there. I would say it's one of the things that I get most excited about and love, because people in a way fall more in love with their business when they get super clear about how they make people's lives better. And I think they actually forget that. You know what I mean? Like, because you start your business, as you know, and then you evolve, you switch up things, but at the very core, at the very beginning, you did it for a certain reason. There was something that was really exciting to you, and then you just get so busy with different things that you kind of forget that. So it's fun to see people discover, like, oh yeah, this is actually the real problem that I solve for people. It's not just like in your case, it's not just, hey, at the beginning, here's a VA to help you with this. It's actually the real problem is that I'm so overwhelmed and I hate feeling overwhelmed every day because I can't do the things that I super love. And so now every day just feels like I'm on this hamster wheel and I'm not getting through the things that are actually going to grow my business. That's like the real problem. It's that feeling of overwhelm and like, I'm not reaching my potential because I have too much on my to-do list, you know? And so it's getting people to go, oh my gosh, that's right. And that's how I'm making people's lives better, because now they actually get to do the things that they love to do and have that feeling of fulfillment and joy.
Could I just use this as an example of outsourcing? Like, could I just outsource my elevator pitch to you and now I don't have to do it?
That's what we do.
You were talking about Eddie before on my team. He just joined, and then
Hi,
a
Eddie.
new friend / client who I'll introduce you guys to, because I think that your service would be helpful, is Yane Robinson, Zone of Genius. That's right.
I love it.
She's
that.
She's an amazing entrepreneur, doing some crazy things. So I'll introduce you guys. Another thing too, so I'm not to get off topic here, but aside from getting clear on an elevator pitch being helpful to attract and convert clients, it's also really important for you attracting talent on your team, because if how can someone apply for a job and won't be excited to work for you if it's not really clear kind of the problem you're solving and who you're solving it for? So I think it's equally important to have an elevator pitch, not just for external, but for internal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so true. People like to be connected to a certain mission with whatever kind of work they do, whether it's their own business or working for someone. It's just having that feeling of like, I actually am helping other people and making their lives better. And I think that's the thing that often gets missed when people are talking about their business. You know, I mean, we know Joe, who's done the whole carpet cleaning, and he talks, you know, if he were to tell somebody at that moment in his life when he was cleaning carpets, what do you do? And it's like, well, I clean carpets. What's the problem you solve? Well, I make dirty carpets clean. But the real thing is, no, actually, I make people feel excited when they wake up in the morning because their home feels fresh. Or now I actually am excited or feel proud to have people walk into my home, instead of I'm so embarrassed. Like, the real problem is I'm embarrassed to have anybody over for book club or cocktails because my carpets look disgusting. Now you've made me feel better, and my everything feels better because it's cleaner and I'm proud of my home, that type of a thing. And I think some people are just going off of that, you know, what's that external problem instead of that real internal problem.
Yeah, totally. Funny, I was just messaging with Joe just before this. All right, so what are we talking about here now?
Okay, so I want to hear from you. You know, obviously I know how you've made my life better working with your company and your team. Let's talk about what it is that you do at Leverage. And then I want to kind of go into like what's changed during this whole pandemic. You know, what have the challenges been? What have the good things been?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm terrible at elevator pitches, so this is going to be botched. But we started off as a virtual assistant company, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. When did you sign up to be a client? You've been a client now for years.
Years. I mean, I would
You're
almost.
one of the
I know.
first ones.
Yep. Yeah.
So
when it was called
Let's Do It.
Let's Do It. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you've been around, man. Not many people have stuck around that long, like when we were doing VA work. So you've seen the evolution.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, we start off as I'm just reading the messages as they come in. Sorry, we have 4 people right now on it. It's the most people I've ever had on it.
That's awesome.
So, you know, starting off as a VA company, the elevator pitch is very different. You know, it's really geared towards like personal time savings. You know, you could delegate booking a flight for someone and save 20 minutes or something, right? Now we've morphed into what we now call a growth agency, where we help business owners, typically in the 7 figures, trying to get to 8, and we help them maximize their top line revenue and their bottom line revenue. And we do that by, I'm just trying to like Mad Libs this.
Yeah.
We do that by kind of giving you this bolt-on team of experts that you can use at your disposal to do anything within marketing or operations. And we've really lately been really focusing on operational efficiency and helping businesses go remote, especially during COVID. And that's really what I'm passionate about, is how do you leverage systems and tools to help companies operate as efficiently as possible while being remote. So, the extended version of the pitch is, helping businesses remove the scavenger hunt from their business, I believe that a company can only scale as fast as knowledge can be retrieved, not transferred. And a lot of businesses are really trying to optimize knowledge transfer, not knowledge retrieval. And then you find yourself in this situation where, you're just texting sometimes, you're emailing other times, and before you know it, you've created a scavenger hunt. And then it's like, hey, what did Summer tell me 6 months ago? And it's like, well, that could be in Slack, it could be in a million channels, it could be in email, it could be in a million places. And that, to me, that gives me anxiety when I see people have to look in 100 different places for something because they don't have good systems and structure and framework. So the long elevator pitch here is we're helping businesses in marketing and operations. Lately, the operational efficiency side has really been a core focus.
Yeah, it's so true. I loved when you and I spoke and you created this whole roadmap for me, which was awesome. And at first you think, oh, is this going to be overwhelming? But the process you took me through, it was just so clean and smooth. And you asked the right questions in terms of where, like where frustrations were with communication with the team. And in the shortest amount of time, like implementing all of these things eliminated so much of that scavenger hunt. So when my team needs something, it's like, oh, it's right here. Oh, it's right there. And it used to be like, hey, ask this person, or maybe that person knows. Or now it's just like, oh yeah, we already got access to it. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's so awesome.
No, totally. Well, it makes me so happy to hear that it was valuable and impactful for you. Just like how you've kind of with the Draw Shop evolved and doing these like elevator pitch videos now for people. That efficiency roadmap is one of the new things that I developed back in June, and it's been probably one of the most popular things that we've ever launched at Leverage, because in just a short period of time, it's amazing how much you can uncover in terms of suboptimal ways that people are running their business.
Yeah.
And it's,
you don't think of.
And it's crazy because, like, in your personal life, an example that I use is if you're doing your laundry and you're taking the laundry out of the dryer, you don't just go and throw all your clothes in one drawer and close the drawer. Like, you separate your socks and your underwear. But in business, they're kind of just throwing everything in one drawer for some reason. So it's like, if you're not doing that if in your personal life you like to separate your socks and all that stuff, why don't you treat your business the same way and keep things organized? And it's frankly just because people don't know better, and they don't know, there's no manual for how to use the different technologies available to you nowadays. And we've kind of carved a really interesting niche in the last 6 months, really doubling down on the operational efficiency and helping businesses go remote.
So then what is that, if we talk about the transformation, the before is the frustrated, feeling overwhelmed. What is that transformation for the business owners and businesses and teams that you're working with?
Well, the impact is, one, you save time, and there's people that really obsess about productivity, which, productivity is necessary but not sufficient for a team to be productive. So the benefit that we see with teams is there's time savings, but then it trickles into culture, because when you are asking a team member to do something or trying to look for something that takes 10 times longer than it should, that causes not just an impact to profit and because things are slowed down, but it also impacts culture. People don't like chasing each other, right? And people, at least high-performing people, like to work on things that are intellectually stimulating, that utilize their unique ability or give them joy. Typically, going on a scavenger hunt and chasing people don't fall into those categories. So if you can eliminate those by giving them frameworks and systems and tools, it impacts the bottom line as well as culture.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the things within your business during this, we've had quite a lot happen this year.
Yep.
What's changed? I mean, I know that you're mostly virtual and but what kinds of things have changed in terms of your clients and their needs, and what have been the challenges that you're seeing and within your own business?
So our ICP, ideal client profile, has shifted up. So now, in the past, we were probably on average, a normal client would be probably around $1 million in revenue. Now that's kind of shifted closer to 10 million in revenue is probably the average. Bye, Yanni.
Can't wait to meet you.
I'll connect you guys. So our client has kind of shifted a little bit larger company, larger teams. But internally, there's a few things that have been key. One has been the shift of offer and focus. So just getting more clear on what we are delivering and who we deliver to. So that all ties into the elevator pitch concept. What's the problem you're solving? Who do you solve it for? That has shifted for us.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like big changes operationally that we've made, in the last couple weeks, actually, we've made some big changes operationally. And this was what I was sharing with you kind of before we started the show. So I am trying to remove myself as much as possible to have kind of a well-oiled machine. My vision for how to run the company is, imagine we're like an NBA basketball team and you don't even have to ask someone to pass the ball. It's just, the playbook and like the ball is getting passed. So how do I get the company, the question I'm always asking myself, how do I get the company running where it doesn't need me and people can be focused on the right thing and think like an owner? So in the context of that, which is what I'm trying to optimize for, I rolled out a concept, well, two concepts. One, we redid our org structure to be role-based instead of title-based. So it kind of looks like a petri dish of circles. And I can show you how we've done that. But then another concept that I've rolled out is OMM, which stands for one metric that matters. And we've built out a ton of dashboards and analytics, and I could show you how we've done that, but most companies aren't tracking the right things.
True.
Most companies don't know what the lifetime value of a client is, what the cost of acquiring a client. They're not looking at the ratio of the two, which basically tells you how efficient is your sales process, right? Like, if you don't have an LTV to CAC of at least 2, ideally 3, like there's probably some underlying issues you need to look at. So most people aren't looking at data like that. So what we've done is we've taken a step back. We have an Excel spreadsheet of 170 different things across all the departments that we're tracking. But then what I released is this OMM, one metric that matters. So if you're the head of client success, what's the one metric that matters? If you're the head of delivery, what's the one metric that matters? If you're the head of sales. So what this has done and what it will do, my prediction is I think it's going to completely change the way that we operate. So there's 170 things. There's probably 17,000 things we could track. But at the end of the quarter, when we're having a discussion, what's the one metric? Like if you failed on the 169, but you nailed just that OMM, like that's all that matters. We're going to celebrate, right? So what I did was I took a look at the business, restructured QuickBooks, which we use for accounting, to make it really easy for people to understand how their OMM ultimately translates to net profit. I gave a lecture to the team on financial literacy to explain to them, why does gross profit margin matter? Well, it affects the gross profit, which affects this, which affects that. I explained them how to calculate lifetime value, how to calculate cost of acquiring a client. And I've given each person one of those key metrics. So I got 10 people, Andrew's running around thinking about CAC, cost of acquiring a customer, right? I have Nisha thinking about LTV. I have Jackie thinking about gross profit margin. I've trained them how to think about these different things. I've explained to them the why you know, why is that important and how it ultimately impacts net profit, which is all that matters.
Yeah.
So I've kind of, rather than me having to think about all these things, I've reallocated to each of these 10 people one key metric, and I've restructured QuickBooks so that it's hyper clear what they do. So it's like, hey, Jackie, you're in charge of gross profit. What activities do you need to do and projects in order to increase our gross profit? And now she's, you know, creating the projects and doing what she needs to do. And we're closely tracking that she hits her gross profit margin goal. Same with CAC, same with LTV, same with average revenue per user, etc. So this OMM concept, I think, is really going to transform the way that we operate leverage under the hood.
And so you're doing this within your business, and you're going to help. Are you now going to help your clients to do the same within their business?
I think like once we get a little, like, I think that it's going to be one of the key, you know, my background's in data science. So this is like the type of stuff that, you know, in financial engineering, I was a high frequency trader. So for me, I think that one of the core service offerings that people should be utilizing us for is creating dashboards and analytics, because most companies are kind of like flying the plane blind, so to speak. And it's hard to not just operate a company, but it's hard to even engage with platforms like Leverage if you don't know the numbers. Like if you don't know your lifetime value and cost of acquiring a customer, like how can you actually know if you get a return working with me?
Yeah, exactly. So, no, it's so important. Well, you know, I want in on that. Determining who's going to be responsible for what. Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, so good. So that's like and I don't know if that was a result of what's happening in our world that came up for you, or, you know, I feel like people there's things that maybe have not gone so well for them, and then there's some people that are like, wow, this is a real blessing in disguise, because we're thinking about things totally differently now and shifting in our business.
Sorry, I have like apps on my phone that cut me out of Instagram.
Did they, you froze for a second.
Should have turned that off before this. I would say like the concept of OMM, you know, I think it probably sparked with me just working too many hours. Like the fact that the company, I'm working so many hours during COVID, you know, with the pivot or slight pivot and all of that stuff, like it's just required a ton of my time. So I am just constantly trying to figure out how do I get, and so I guess COVID sparked working a ton of hours, which it was already happening before COVID, but COVID definitely accelerated getting a little bit more clear on what we do at Leverage and this new offer. And then constantly I'm just trying to reevaluate, am I doing things that utilize my unique ability or give me joy? And how do I empower other people to do some of these things? And I didn't, no matter what I would do, like we slowly do that, but in order to really do that, you have to be clear on your role and responsibilities in the company. And then as a function of clarifying the roles and responsibilities, then it's like, well, okay, so you're responsible for clients being successful. How do you measure that you're doing a good job? So then that sparked a whole conversation on all these metrics. And then it was like, all right, well, now there's too many metrics. Why don't we choose your OMM to just get hyper clear, right? Yep. So that's one new concept that sparked out of this. And then also in the same kind of context of this conversation with clear role and responsibilities, we've been hiring a lot during the pandemic. And we've changed how we look at hiring too, where the job description now at Leverage is the last thing that we create. And actually, if you want to hire someone, you have to create, what does their performance review look like and what would their OMM be? And you have to get really, if you don't know how you would measure someone's success, like I don't even want to get applicants yet. So getting super clear, all right, you want to hire a new salesperson, a new client success person. Imagine, 3 months from now, you're sitting down reflecting on how the quarter went, how's that conversation going to go, and what kind of pieces of data do you want to bring up in that conversation, and just kind of doing it kind of in that order, versus we used to kind of do what everyone does, which is you create the job description and
here's the tasks and the activities, and
so starting from the performance review perspective and the OMM perspective and working backwards into a job description is another kind of new thing that we've recently been doing.
I love that. I love all of it. I mean, if you think about everything that we've talked about, it's just getting super, super clear on what the outcome needs to be. So you're clear on like, here's what we're working towards. Here's the problem or the mission. And then here's where we want to be. And if you can be clear on those things, I think, the activities that you do to get there will naturally happen. But so many people do go into it blindly, not really knowing like, well, we just do this or we just do no, but what is the outcome you're looking for?
Exactly.
I love that so much. So I want to tell people where to find more if they want to work with you, get a roadmap like I did, which was incredible. Should they follow you here? Go to the website. What's the best place?
You can just shoot me an email, nick@getleverage.com, GETLEVERAGE.com, and you could go and check out the website. I have a podcast, which you should come on again.
Yes.
It's been a while. It's the Leverage podcast. And like, those are the best ways to get in touch.
Awesome. This was so fun. I love doing this with you. And for any of you guys listening, we're going to start going live every Tuesday. I'll have guests on here. If you have your own elevator pitch or you're confused about how to convey your message to other people in a way that gets them to be excited and want to work with you, email it into us, team@thedrawshop.com, or just send it here via Instagram. Just send us a DM and send it to us, and we might feature you on the live. It could be super fun. We'll revamp your elevator pitch. Nick, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun. Let's do this again. Now that I know how to do Instagram lives.
Now, yes, and congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you for teaching.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.